everyone, just wanted to let y'all know that my physical copy of my graphic novel is now available to purchase on Amazon. There's also the ebook form, but it's finally done. I'm excited. Finally got the physical copy ready to go. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave the links down in the descriptions, alright? Other than that, I hope you enjoy the video. Bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wicked Art. It is Wicked here, and today we're going to talk about how to change styles of a particular character. So today, what I'm going to do is we're going to do Goku, but we're going to try to do it in the vein of DC Comics. So if you look at these images up here, I got Goku for a reference, and just a random image from a Jim Lee style um, comic book drawing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start by, let me bring that down some, because if I draw it too high, probably won't fit his hair in here. But I'm going to start by, just building out the body of Goku here. So kind of using like the same kind of format that most artists would use when building out their images. So I'm just kind of blocking shapes out, picking different features to just make sure that the muscles are going to be where they need to. So I'm just sketching really light at the moment. So we're going to work in our forearm here. Let's come back to this side. That trap right there. And so what I'm doing is, you obviously need to have a general idea of anatomy in order to, get your foundations right. And so I'm just coming in, and like I said, just really building out these major muscle groups first. Thinking about, where some of my muscle overlaps are going to be. And then just applying that to the image. So we're going to continue down. Into the body that way. Now I'm not going to do traditional, like Goku with his outfit. I'm actually going to go for more of um, a tattered look, kind of like he just got done fighting, or he's in the middle of fighting. Like kind of like, think of that episode of where he just turned Super Saiyan, and he's in the middle of fighting Frieza, and he's got those really almost tattered clothes. That's going to be the look that I'm going for with that. So again, I'm just kind of sketching things out. again, just trying to set things up. To make sure I get me a nice image when I'm done. And again, planning out that anatomy is going to be key to that. And like I said, once you have that basic foundation and understanding for how anatomy works, it becomes a lot easier to kind of sketch through these things. Then at the same time, we still want to hold true to our character. In order to make it, still read as Goku when we're done. Okay, I'm gonna start putting in, a little bit of division line here, just for my abs, so I have some general idea. Getting those obliques in. And then we can start, building out different things, like our neck. And I'm given like a broader chin just because DC tends to have those really masculine faces. Okay, so now I have like a basic foundation. Sat down. I can come in here and start adding in my detail. So I can start, replanning different aspects of, how much detail I want. So like I said, his shirt's going to be torn, and then I can make adjustments from there on how muscular I want him to be. So like this is going to be my chest area. Again, I'm defining more realistic as opposed to anime. So our chest and our body should reflect a little bit more realism to it than any hyper, uh, stylizations. That way, like I said, we're conveying the art style that we're going for, which is that DC style of art. So I'm just adding in various little muscle details. again, just thinking about how the body's built. So, like from here out on the chest, I kind of bring that shoulder muscle down. Right into here. So that's that first layer of muscle. And then I can just as easily run that off. Just like that. Now, as you go along, you can clean up any of the sketchiness that you had in there. Again, just kind of adding in various little details. So, like if I want a little bit of vein showing, that's what I'm working with here. Like that's going to be my tricep muscle. Working that down into there. Having a slight turn, coming right into that muscle there. Again, using the overlay of my chest. Let's go ahead and start building out some more muscle features. Just to kind of help define the body a little bit more. And again, as you go along, just erase that stuff out of there. Again, just kind of trying to match that style of like how Superman's body is built. Since Goku is almost like a direct parody, if you will, of Superman. So now that I have that set up, I can come in now with my bicep muscle. Let's clean that up. Get a little bit right here next to it. And the way that I'm choosing to define this bicep region is not going to be by just, shape alone. I'm going to use, different aspects of different things that can appear in the body, just like veins, right? So making him look, a little bit more muscular by adding in some veins. Into the arm there, okay? So once I have that, I can still continue, down this back side of the arm here. So I have a little bit of an overhang. And then as that comes around, having, the muscle come out at different points. Let's go ahead, because again, I want it to be, kind of tattered in a way. We're going to come up. It's kind of right off the muscle this way. And this come out past the forearm a little bit. That way I can have my forearm completed. That way. And let's see, we can come off the vein this way. Have a little bit coming back there into the arm. Again, I'm very much with the philosophy that sometimes, a less is more mentality will help you keep things in line where you want them. So you don't want to go like, too over the top. So you want to add the bare minimum sometimes. Kind of help express whatever it is you're doing. So again, I'm just really having Goku super flexing here. So he's got a lot of adrenaline and blood pumping through his veins. So that's why we're showing a lot more of the detail. Okay, so I'm going to carry this down. Another vein. And let's put a little bit right in there. Come down. And we get that vein shape. Kind of stop that there. Okay. Let's make that come up a little bit more. Again, just so we can kind of sell that vein. It's going down in there. And I'm just going to clean up as I go along. I want a little bit of wrist definition to come through there. Okay, and then I want to kind of think about maybe leading down into the wrist. Help me set up that thumb shape. Like that. Now that I have that thumb shape in there, let's clean some of that up. Let's bring it down just a little and put some like wrinklage in the finger bend here. Bring that thumb around, and I'm just trying to clean it up so you can see it as I'm going. And we can kind of bring that like out past that area. Just have that kind of curve that way. And we'll clean all that up as well for now. Just like that. And then we can give like a vague impression of a nail there. Okay, so now that we have that out, I want to kind of bring that hand shape out some. Like that. And then I want to keep things even, so I'm going to start with the inside of the finger here. Let me clean up all of that. And as that comes out, I can begin to make my finger shape. Like that there. Kind of bring that back to here. And then for a knuckle shape, we can kind of pass in front right here. And come up. And then just go back. Into the hands like that. Now that we have a wrist established, what I can do is I can come in here and start drawing over right in there. So I can clean up this whole inside area. And that can be his wrist guard, or the part that he uses to, I guess the best word would be for like his weight training. So we can bring that other finger out. And just kind of have that go down. Again, just kind of clean up that inside a little bit. We can hit it up with some shading later. And that's how much detail and things are going into this arm in particular. Okay. So now let's begin to work our way back across. So I'm going to start again thinking about different details of the anatomy and how I'm going to work that in. So the first initial thing that I need to establish again is the shape of the abs. So I'm going to make him a little bit more on the muscular side. So you can see as I'm bringing it down, I'm trying to match with what I have on the aspect of his ab muscles and where they fall. And so I'm making him way more cut and define on his muscle areas. So you can see how that's going to kind of end up bringing that out. Again, we don't have a shirt on, so I can give that hint of his chest there. Same thing with this side here, how I kind of have that line coming over. I want to do Something similar on this side. Again, we're just going to help define these areas. So I can kind of build that muscle there and then just carry off from that and then just build out. My abdomen shape. Let's come, definitely have to carry that down a little bit more. We can cut back just a little bit on that. So now that I have that, and I can come out and go down that way. So I have this definition now, and what's really going to make it kind of sell in uh, that style of DC is going to be uh, the shading when we start doing that. So again, I'm just kind of having his outfit be tattered. Cleaning that up as I go. And we can kind of use that right there as a cutoff point. Just like that. Okay, so now I can take this section here. Just run that back into the arms like that. Okay, and now we're going to continue the same thing like what I did with the arms over here. I'm going to do it with the other side over there. Okay, so let's start with, okay, my muscles running back. I'm going to kind of bring some muscle detail out that way, as well as some features that wrap across the trapezius muscles. And we'll just wrap that out right here. Kind of have that come across. Settled that way. And I'm drawing a lot of this based off of the lighting that I'm going to try to work in here later. So like some sides may not have as much detail as the other. So I'm going to come right off this arm right here. Really work in the tricep detail by giving it a shape. And then right in here, where muscles and things are all tucking in together, that's where we're going to come in to define that bicep shape. So I'm really going to come in and favor the overlap of the forearm here. And then I can clean up all inside of here so that I can see things better. Okay, and then again, just kind of thinking about the lighting and the way things are going to work. I may not have as much vein detail as, like, say, on the other side over here. So I may only have a little bit that comes out and is visible on there on that side. But I can really help kind of define the inner part of the bicep there. And again, just kind of thinking about where certain parts, like leading into the elbows, what those overlaps are going to look like, and then how that's going to directly affect where the rest of the muscles sit on here. So again, just trying to define that forearm shape of where the muscles overlap at. And how that's going to run down into the elbow. So again, I can just kind of clean up around it. And this is a fun way to kind of study and venture out into new art forms. Kind of helping you pick and choose which ones you like best. Um, you know, what's gonna be the thing that you want to practice towards, and actually, begin to focus at that point. So next thing, bring that forearm out that way. Have a little vein action going right here. And kind of swoop under the vein. Bring that back out there. Just like that. Let's have a little bit of our vein come out there. We'll extend this down to about here. Then we can kind of give it a split like that. And maybe have it come out this way some. And we'll kind of define it that way. Like that. And kind of come from underneath it again. And we'll have it kind of run across like back here where the wrist would bend. And the other, fun aspect of this is it's all experimentation. So, like, let's say it doesn't turn out, 100% the way that I want it. I'm not going to sit here and, beat myself up all day and not move on with my artwork. Like, why stay stuck on an image if you don't have to? You can just, take and go from there. I'm probably going to need to extend the wrist down a little bit. curve that back. So I'm really trying to define the hand shape here. So like this will be my thumb. And we'll kind of take that down into the hand. And let's see, we're going to take the hand out right here. Get a little bit more vein action on the hand. Before I continue, I want to get that shape defined for the wrist. His weighted wrist. And again, we'll work on the rest with the when it comes to the shading. Okay. So we want to kind of have that fold here for the thumb. And we're going to come this way for a little bit of a finger bend. And we're going to come down into the finger. Again, I can kind of clean it up as I go along. So I'll have a little tiny bit of vein action going on right here in the hand. Let's extend that and we'll match up our vein there. And then we can kind of come out with the other finger. That's a little too big. We'll take this up and kind of curve that in and use that for a vein there. A little bit there. Let's take right here. Again, just to give us an idea of there being vein. And we're going to come up this way. Get that knuckle shape. And one more right here. That takes us out for our hand. Okay. Now I'm going to move down into the clothing and then we'll come back up and finish the head and then we'll get into the shading, okay? Okay, so let's go ahead and continue with the tear this way. And just leave that there. Now we can put that down there for the pants. And just kind of have that in place. We're going to do like a generalized shading in that area. Okay, so let's start bringing that to pieces right there and kind of round up towards our head. And then let's start building out this face. Like I said, we're going to do that kind of DC masculine kind of chin. So not your typical, triangle face. Looking image. We're going to go with, like I said, more of a realistic looking shape and everything to it. So I have that in there. Let's go ahead. Clean up some of this. And we're going to go ahead and start kind of filling in some of this area under the neck. And get like that kind of a dark, shadowy look. We'll just start filling that in right there. And it's just something that, is typically done in that style. Is usually a very dark region under the neck, even though you may not find as many um, like details on the face in general. But for some reason, they like to really like kind of stylize that area up underneath the neck there. Okay. So now we're going to get our ear shape in here. And we're going to kind of pull that back. And build that up. Same thing here on the face. We need to actually bring so it matches the other side. Kind of bring that shape out some. Right there. And we'll kind of come up and get that kind of like a cheek shape right in there. And we'll match that ear up. And make sure we kind of get those shapes in there. Okay. And I forgot to clean up around some of these areas. Okay, so next thing we need to do is establish the rest of the outline of the face here. Uh, kind of give him a bit of some cheek structure on this side as well. We're going to try working his mouth right here. And we'll come above that. Now, one of the other things is Goku's kind of got that triangle shaped nose. So we're going to try to establish a nose on his face. Again, that's more human-like. So like right in here. I'm just going to put in some hatching on the other side, underside of the nose. And then kind of have a little bit of a nose shape there. And we'll take that eyebrow out. Right there. And we're going to go for more of a realistic eye. So we'll kind of color that in. Leave a little glare there. And I'll put a couple of lines right there under the eye. We're going to come. Let's fix this. This is a little too close. I want it to kind of have that curve. And we can kind of darken this area under the nose. And let's extend that out. And now we're going to come in here. Again, we're going to add in that eyebrow shape. Again, we want to get more of a realistic human eye in here. Again, just put a couple lines underneath that. Okay. Now, we have that established. So now I can come in and start working on the hair. So kind of going to stretch that down past the eyebrow here. Get that first initial shape. And I have that second part. Okay. Now this we want to extend back and curve another piece down. Like that. So let's take a tiny piece of hair here. Drop that right down into the head for the sideburns. All right. So now that I have that in place, we can kind of start going for the rest of the hair. Again, I'm going to change it up so that it looks more along the lines of what a DC artist would do. So it's not going to 100% be a basic outline. This I should probably bring out a little bit more here. Now I'm going to try to keep things even. So I'm going to kind of take this out over here. And bring that back in there. Actually, before I forget, I want to add in this shape right over here. Okay. Like that. And then because we're kind of looking up, we're going to have everything kind of going behind. So I'm going to go back out this way. And I go down. And we'll go out that way. Like that. Okay, so now I have that basic foundation down. Now I can start adding in a little bit more of what we want to see, right? So let's say I want to kind of get this reflective look in the hair. Because in DC, like you can see in this picture with Superman, most of it's colored in pretty much black, you know. So I can come in here too. And just kind of hold that in place. You can do the same thing out here. I can leave this a little bit kind of exposed just so I can show that separation in the hair. From what I got there. Let's go ahead and we'll do a little bit. Right in here. And we'll do a tiny bit out there on the hair as well too. Okay. So you can see how it's not like in the anime sense of how they would shade certain things, and it's the whole purpose of what we're doing is we're changing the style of the hair itself. So again, just adding in just enough detail. Give the illusion of his black hair. Like that. And then back here on the back, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to shorten this up. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here. Let's color that in. Let's go back. Like that. Trying to keep it a little jagged on there for the reflections. And the rest of it. Just kind of fill in right there. As we come back here, another little glare. Just like that. Okay, and we want to kind of do the same, go around for the rest of the head. So I'm going to kind of thicken this line up first. And we'll just fill that in. So now we're starting to get into that DC style. Is where the shading and level of detail in that area is what's going to make it stand out. Okay. Now I want to do these eyebrows black. I'm going to go ahead and fill those in as well. Okay. And then again, we'll just kind of thicken up this outside part first. And then I'm just going to kind of come back let's kind of fill this in just a little bit more. Okay, so now we can start with our DC shading. Okay, so some areas I'm going to hit up is like right inside of here, under the eye. I'll put a tiny bit of hatching in there. And then like up here under the chin, I'm going to put in some hatching. Right inside of there. And then give it some more depth. And really turn out that chin. Right there. And carry that over to that side. Right here. Now we can add in a few more lines in there. Put some hatching in there. Now, as far as like the chest goes, let's go ahead and we're going to add some hatching in here. Like that. And then on this bottom area here, make it a little bit darker. We could leave it like that, but what I want to do is I want to really kind of sell that DC style of shading. So like these areas where it's closer to the bottom, we're going to actually darken. Pretty dark right here. And just kind of hatch back over. Like that. Okay. Gonna do the same thing over here. And go underneath the chest that way. And when it comes to hatching, the closer you hatch things together, obviously the more darkness you're going to get from your shading. And then the cross hatching going back over it will help with that as well too. So again, these areas in here. We can make darker. And pull that out that way. Now, a little bit of some vein action right here. So we'll add in some shading. that. And don't want that to be so loose. We'll kind of erase it a little bit. Again, I'll add some hatching right through there. I'll do some more hatching down here through the shoulder. As well as that area there. Like that. A little bit of hatching coming off the shoulder right here. And let's go ahead and start working our way. Probably need to add a little bit more muscular detail in here. Just to really kind of show off those oblique muscles a little. Like that. Again, we can start hatching. Little tiny hatches going up the side of these oblique muscles, and then drag out some bigger ones. Do some cross hatching to a point. Bring that over. Like that. Let's see. We're gonna want probably darken up this bottom area. We have this overlap. And we're gonna put some hatching along the abs. Just up to a point. You don't have to go all the way up. Kind of cross hatch bottom a little. And get a few little hatch lines in here. Kind of turn that out. Have a little gap. And try to go up this way. A tiny bit in here. It's all exposed, so let's kind of get a little bit of hatching on that side. Some hatching over here on the shoulders. And get this bottom side here. Right in there, and then we'll get a tiny bit of hatching here. Like that. And then let's see, we got this kind of folded, kind of overlap. So we're definitely going to have to hatch the inside portion right here. Let's kind of change directions with our hatching. And we can use this hatching to help create the shape, in a way, of our vein. This whole inside area here. Okay. So now here, add in some hatching here. And just kind of have that run across. Right into this region here. Again, I can kind of stretch a couple lines. Just put a couple hatches right here. Definitely want this elbow fold. It's going to get some hatching. Just like that. Okay. Now other areas we can get a couple hatch lines here on the forearm. Some hatch lines here on this opposite side. Right in there. Get some right there like that. And let's see. Now I want to erase out this little bit that I got in here still. Okay, I'm going to pull these hatches through. So you can see how I'm using the hatches to kind of help define the muscles. Yeah, we're going to have to do this whole inside under the vein. A little cross hatching right there. Now I'm going to go down into the wrist. And before we do anything major, let's make sure that vein's defined. And we got a little hatch on here. So I want this whole piece up to a point right here. Kind of hatch through the wrist. And go down through there. Again, and continue hatching. Down here, this underside. Cross hatching towards the bottom. Like that. And now we can work on the hand. So we're going to leave a little bit of hatching right here. And we're going to take that across. Like that. And then start to turn it, space it out. Just like that there, so you can see how it's helping me build my shape up. Do a little hatch in here. And down here in the fingers, we are gonna do a tiny bit of hatch in here, all the way down into the finger that way, like that. And we're gonna repeat the process. Maybe have a little bit of overhang right here. Then we're gonna go out and do the same thing again. Okay. So next thing I can do is find some other ways to shape the hand with some tiny hatch marks. These places inside the vein or next to, maybe spaced out, and then get closer right inside of there. And like that. Okay. So let's switch over to this other side. So we have our chest here, right? I want to get that same kind of under shoulder trim, like that. A little bit of cross hatching down there at the bottom. Okay, we're going to have minor hatching up here at the top. Again, we're thinking about where our light exposure is coming from, which is from this side over here. So we're going to kind of cross hatch here, like that. And we're going to hatch down. And kind of go in front of this vein here. A little cross hatching down there towards the bottom. So again, you can see I'm using them to help me shape different areas of the muscles and the body. Right, let's kind of find this region here. And a little bit here. Just like that. And take that up into the fold right there. Just like that. And now we have to start thinking about this. So our body is blocking mass majority of what we have here. So this is going to get a full hatching shade. And we're going to kind of cross hatch the bottom. Just like that. Now we still need to define a little, so we're going to do some hatching up the arm this way. Cross hatch down there at the bottom. And now we got to do our hair. So this whole back side here, make that a little bit thicker. It's completely covered in shadow, so we can just kind of hatch closely together. And just hatch that in. I can do the same thing like I did with the fingers down here on the bottom. I can use the shape to help guide me across my hands here, as well as a couple of hatches here and some here to help us define the bend on that finger. Add in that knuckle shape here. And we kind of hatch that out that way. And then I can just hatch all the way to the thumb. Let some of the finger show. And then I can do the same thing here. Just go to a point and go to a point. So that takes care of that. Now, we're going to finish up with the pants. Okay, so I have to decide whether or not I want, let's bring in his belt. So we're going to go that way. And that way with it. Okay, and then I want to take that there. We'll come down. And we'll put his belt in there. Okay. So next thing I want to do is we want to kind of get these tear shapes in here. Just kind of hatching those in. Again, just kind of do the bottom rows or portion. Like that there. Now we're going to do kind of the opposite. And we'll take that down right there. Again, keeping the same trend going. Hatch that back. Kind of hatch down into that portion there. pull that out that way, across the bottom. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of some line work right there. Okay, I'm just going to hit up that bottom portion and come a little bit above. Again, we're going to do the same on the opposite side. Get that right in there. Okay, so let's go ahead and hatch this way, and then I'm going to kind of do this out to a point right here. And we will just hatch the rest of the way up. Like that. Now, I want to go this way. And just kind of hatch back. I'm going to go to this point here. Right underneath the belt. Like that. And then I completely forgot. You do this side here. The wrist. Little kind of tiny hatches. And work our way out big. Across the bottom. And now we can just do our pant detail, okay? So I'm just going to kind of hatch closely together since we're finally kind of like on the clothes. And I'm going to hatch them all the way up to the top here. We're going to get a little bit going this way. Again, keeping with our light source. And then just kind of separate going out. We got that there. And then we got to think about how this is hitting on this side. Down in there. We can probably work in a few lines going this way. Get a little bit of the shadow. From the belt. And that, my friends, is going to do it for our attempt at Goku in the style of DC Comics. I think I did okay. Obviously, there's always room for improvement, but let me know what you think. Cool picture. Looks terrible. Don't look anything like Goku. Completely up to you. Let me know down in the comments if you like what you saw and you're new to the channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're just here for the Goku drawing, I appreciate you anyway. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you want me to do next. This channel is for you. It is not for me. So I want to draw the things you want me to draw. While I'm saying all this, I'm seeing now that I completely forgot to do the abs over here. But anyway, like I was saying, comments are so important, not just for channel growth. I could care less about the channel growth. I want to make sure that I am getting the right content to you of what you want to learn, what you want to follow along with. All that stuff is for you. So leave me a comment, please. Let me know what you want to see next. Other than that, I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. Remember to keep on sketching. Until next time, have a good one. All right? Bye.